Welcome to the Big Fat Real Estate Checks podcast with Marco Kozlowski, where we help investors like you get the knowledge and skills you need to replace your JOB with passive cash flow for life.
Greetings. If you were afraid of nothing, what could you accomplish? Anything. Well, today I'm going to share the one thing that will either keep you exactly where you are forever or give you absolute financial freedom, independence, and the confidence to achieve anything you ever wanted in life. To be afraid of nothing. And the answer on how to do that might surprise you. But first, I'm going to share a very personal story of what happened to me many years ago that I'm not particularly proud of. In fact, I'm pretty ashamed of myself for behaving that way. Only a handful of people know this about me in my close circles, but I think it's important for me to share this for you to see where I started so you can see that anyone can learn what I'll be discussing today. Now, I was a young kid, 23 years old. I'm 48 now, so that's 25 years ago. Man, time flies. I was living in Aylmer, Quebec, a small town just outside of Ottawa, the capital of Canada, on the French-speaking side. We struggled a lot financially back then. My wife, Karen, and I had 3 very small kids under 3 at that time and one in the oven, Bentley. I was a stay-at-home dad and only 23 years old, and my wife worked tremendously hard as she could, but kids aren't cheap and we were always underwater. Making ends meet back then was almost an impossible task. There was a lot more a month than there ever was money. It was stressful, it was painful, and it was exhausting. I don't know if you can even relate to that story, but it was hell. Well, it was the first of the month, rent day, the day I hated the most. We never had the money to pay the rent on time. It was a terrible feeling, a feeling I never got used to. I was also terrified of my landlord back then, which made matters worse. I knew Mr. Pollock, my grumpy landlord, was coming like he did every single month, like clockwork. To this day, I have no idea why I was so scared of the guy. Perhaps I was embarrassed of our financial situation with the number of kids that I have, or maybe I was ashamed. I really don't know. But what I do know was I was afraid, terrified of conflict back then. I avoided it at all costs. I'm the opposite now. I've learned better. But then I didn't know how to confront anyone when challenges were happening in my life. It was way easier to put my head in the sand with my ass up in the air and just wait for shit to go away. I was a wimp, a huge scaredy cat. Well, Oliver, my oldest son, who was almost 3, was playing with Elliot, then almost 2, with toys on the ground, almost getting along like most toddlers do. My wife, Karen, was feeding the baby Mercedes, who was just a few months old, plus was also quite pregnant with my son, Bentley. Hands full, to say the least. Doorbell rang, ding dong, landlord right on time. Knots in my stomach, start. Ugh. My wife kindly asked me to tell Mr. Pollock, the landlord, that we didn't have the rent, but we might have it next week. We had money coming in. She was exhausted, hadn't slept all night. Simple task, simple request. That's all I had to do. Deliver a simple message, right? Should have been easy. Well, it wasn't. I opened the door, took a look at Mr. Pollock. I became speechless, like I lost my ability to speak English. It's terrible. He stares at me, I stare at him, stares at me, stares at him. He opens his hand and says, "Where's my rent?" I froze like a little bitch. I couldn't muster the fucking confidence to tell him one simple thing. It's so terrible. It makes me so mad even now. I'm so embarrassed. Instead, I say to him with a smile, with a fucking smile. It's so ridiculous. I welcome him in. I said, "Why don't you come in? My wife wants to tell you something." Couldn't believe it. I escorted the guy like a complete loser into the room. To have him snap at my tired, pregnant spouse while I watched and did nothing. I put him there. I put her in a terrible situation. What kind of man does that? This one. I did that. She stared at me like I was a piece of shit, rolling her eyes. How could I do this with my baby daughter in her arms? Why did I wimp out and not just tell the guy what I had to do to protect my wife and small kids from that scene? It was one of the worst moments in my life. I really needed to grow some damn balls. And this was the exact spark that started my journey, that very moment. Now, I wouldn't be where I am today had that not happened. I realized at that point that I wasn't a real man. I was a terrible, terrible, terrible husband, a terrible, terrible role model for my kids, and I had to change. I had to learn some new skills, or I'd be miserable for the rest of my life. The biggest pansy, not a man that I need to be for myself, for my wife and my family, and for the people that I cared about around me. It was at that exact moment in time that I made a decision to change myself, to work on myself, to learn new series of skills so this would never, ever, ever happen again. I never wanted to feel like that ever again. And through that journey, not only did I learn a critical series of skills to help myself improve my attitude, my perspective, the direction of my life, but my ability to make as much money as I wanted, because one is tied to the other. And that is exactly what we're going to discuss today. How did a broke musician with no balls, zero confidence, complete loser go from that situation to buying thousands of units in 34 states, making millions of dollars a year, traveling the world with his family, having extremely rich relationships with everyone around him? Well, that him is me. But I want that success to be you, to mirror those results. Not have to go through 25 years of blood, sweat, and tears, 2 divorces, being homeless, and a whole lot of other messes. Doing things the hard way is the worst. The school of hard knocks is the most expensive school of them all. My passion is helping and mentoring others to shine, to get great results. I'd like to share with you, as simply as possible, the answer that changes everything. A complex series of actions that can be distilled into one word. Yes, you can distill success into one small itty-bitty word. Can you guess what that is? Well, I'm going to share it with you momentarily, since you're going to need this next idea to really experience the full impact of that simple answer. Something we all struggle over, but really shouldn't, since once you get this word, it never becomes a problem ever again. Money. You'll see what I mean shortly. Money. How much money is available in the universe? Of course, the answer is infinite. There's an unlimited amount of money in the universe. Well, there's more money to make than anyone could ever possibly spend or even use. There's no pie that takes away one from the other. If you make 10 million bucks, it doesn't take away your best friend's ability of making 20 million bucks, or me to make 100 million bucks. There are no limits to how much anyone can make, right? Well, if there's unlimited amount of money to be had, why is there a limited amount in your bank account? That doesn't make any sense. Why are we all struggling so much to make a buck, to make ends meet, to pay our bills, and to take care of our families or whatever needs to be going on? It doesn't make any sense. Unlimited should mean no limits. There's no limit to how much we can make. So then why is it so damn difficult to make it? Is there a limited amount of air? There's less air than money. The US government just prints out money every single day and we're not making any more air. So what's going on? Why don't we all have more money than we possibly need? Why? Did you look at your bank account this morning and go, I have too much money? I doubt it. Well, why? If money is so unlimited, shouldn't you have more? Now, aren't there people that come to this country from a third world country who don't speak the language, with just the clothes on their backs, with no formal education at all, that aren't as fortunate as you, aren't as good looking as you, and have way fewer teeth than you, and make more in 5 years than most Americans do in a lifetime? Does this happen all the time? It sure does. But how? How does this happen? How can others make this kind of fortune while most struggle with great educations? Now, there is a common thread between this and what I discussed earlier. The same word. Can you guess what it is? Now, some say hard work. Well, I know a lot of hardworking people that are constantly broke. Now, some say attitude. You got to have good attitude. Well, I know a lot of people with great attitudes that are super broke. Discipline. It's got to be discipline. I know a lot of extremely disciplined people that are on food stamps. Belief. It's got to be belief. I know, you know how many people that I've seen watch The Secret 63 times and are still dead broke? Work ethic, Marco. It's got to be work ethic. I know a lot of people with amazing work ethic, dead broke. Education. Got to be your education, right? Don't you know a lot of educated people that are broke as a joke? Look, some say time is money. That's got to be the answer. Well, hang on a second. This is one of the biggest lies I've ever heard. How is time a limited resource compared to money, an unlimited resource? Time is money is a lie. It's complete bullshit. This crap is fed to you by the wealthy to buy your time at wholesale prices so they can have all the time in the world that they want to be on yachts, parties, jets, golf, play golf, whatever they want to do. So you mortgage your time for cheap to someone else so they can have more of it, and that's a shame. Time is way more valuable than money. You can never make more time, but you can always make more money. Never forget that. So Marco, what is the damn word? What's the one thing that completely makes the difference in anyone's success, my own or even yours? Well, the answer is behavior. If you behave a certain way, you're going to get those results. Behave broke, stay broke. Behave wealthy, get wealthy. A very simple answer, but much more complex in application. But never fear, Marco is here. Over the next many episodes, I'm going to do my best to help you behave differently, to help you change your strategy so you start experiencing much better results. That's my passion as a mentor. I really wish it was taught to all humans, but the world isn't made that way. Society is built on mass population being compliant, obeying, and following the rules. To fear change. Fear is a powerful controller, and it starts at a very young age. You were fearless as a kid. You could do anything. You were happy, full of joy, full of energy. Where the hell did that go? It's no accident. You no longer have that joie de vivre that you used to have. At least it's very rare. The system is designed to tame young minds into an army of compliant worker bees. Look, did school teach you how to be wealthy or how to work for someone else? Did they teach you financial education? How to pay less in taxes legally, morally, and ethically? How to start a business? How to help as many people as possible? Or to see problems not as problems, but as opportunities so you can shine? Like it or not, we all have been conditioned to obey, to be sheeple. Go to work, come back. Do what I'm told, toe the line, keep my head down. In fact, for hundreds of years, anyone sticking out their neck, what happens? Yes, it got cut off. Just don't make waves, make my salary, pray I can retire, pray I don't get fired, retire, and die. Sadly, most die within 5 years of retirement. Why? They're bored. They have no idea what to do. They don't know what comes next. No more conditioning. I don't know what to do now. What am I supposed to do? Don't know. So used to what that life was. Ding, the bell rings. Ding, alarm sounds. Ding, you wake up. Ding, you fight traffic with other sheeple. Ding, you get there. Ding, you go to the building to work. Ding, it's lunchtime. Ding, it's the end of the day. Ding, it's time for bed. Ding, alarm sounds. Ding, get up again. Over and over and over again. Ding, 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 ding. Am I wrong? Isn't that what school is like? Ding, ding, ding. Isn't that what your job is like? Ding, ding, ding. Isn't that what prison is like? Ding, ding, ding. Almost all exactly the same. So how do we escape this behavioral prison? Well, seeing and understanding the problem for what it really is the first step. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result. And sadly, most have no idea their behavior is insanity. I escaped. I really want to help you. In fact, I want to help as many people as I possibly can do the same. So 25 years ago, when I made the realization that my behavior sucked, that if I continued down that path, I would be a pansy forever and never have the quality of life that I wanted for myself and my children, I made a decision to change. Now, I didn't understand what I had to do or how I had to do it back then, but I knew I was awake and I knew I had to do something. And it took me 25 years of constant research to be able to figure that out. And now I have processes that allow me to fix that, and I help others with that same process. And by fixing that, you also fix the next thing, which is money. Having the right behavior allows you to receive more money, have a quality of life that you never expected, have more control in your life, and the confidence to be able to do whatever you want. In fact, be afraid of nothing. I will continue and discuss and share tools that are all around you that you didn't even know were there to eliminate the fear, to empower you with knowledge so you can slay the bad behavior dragon immediately. I'm going to help you use the easiest financial vehicle that I know to make more, work less, really improve your situation no matter how bleak or amazing it already is. And that's why I created this series. On the last episode, I shared with you how to make 6 figures never buying a property and helping sellers and agents on marketing we're already doing to help ourselves. On the next, I'll give you some insight on how you can change your behavior when communicating with sellers. Ready to make small changes that make a huge difference in your life? Well, let's get you into massive action starting on the next episode. We'll see you on the next one.
If you like this episode of Big Fat Real Estate Checks, then show some love by leaving a comment and a good rating. Also, as a thank you for tuning in today, we've got a special free gift. The journey to passive cash flow for a life starts by finding deals, and it's easier than you think. Simply go to getdealsbytuesday.com, enter your email address, and we'll send you a free quick start course called Deals by Tuesday. Even if it's 11 p.m. Monday night, this course will show you how to find discounted real estate deals by Tuesday. It's that fast and simple. Go to getdealsbytuesday.com and start your journey toward life-changing cash flow today. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next episode.